Welcome to Tanakh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live from Kingsland, Texas, USA, with another episode of TNT, the Twisted New Testament, with Rabbi Stuart Federow. Tonight we're discussing Galatians chapter 3. Is the law a curse? Or is that made-up nonsense by the New Testament believers? Rabbi, welcome back, sir. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Always great to be here with you.
Thank you, Rabbi. And I feel the same entirely. Baruch Hashem. And you sound marvelous, by the way.
I am feeling better. I still have cough left, but it's a lot less and it's not as deep in my chest. And
good.
You know, I'm sure I'll cough halfway through the whole show tonight. So, you know.
Nah, you got to make it fine. I got to try to get rid of all these. There we go.
Yep.
Nope. As long as you're feeling better, and that's good. Good news. Good news. Yep. Yes, sir. So very good. So we're gonna
what happened to your volume?
You can't hear me now.
No, it's just.
Okay, we're live on YouTube. Everything's streaming nice and strong.
There it is.
There we go. Hello, Andrea, Yasmin, Holly, Hilton. Good to see you. Devin,
hi,
welcome.
Hi, Mina. Hi, Holly. Hi, Mina. Hi, Devin.
Mina. Oh, I didn't scroll down.
Hi, Stanislaw. Hi. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Very good. So, it's interesting because and you have to remind me where it's at in Deuteronomy. I was thinking around.
By the way, I'd like to say hi to Carla and her husband in Perth, Australia.
Oh yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
So hello from me as well. Rabbi told me about y'all's encounter and Baruch Hashem. Thankfully that you guys were able to come out as well, and that you had access to this. Even this channel is really nice. Right. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
I hope I didn't just embarrass them,
or me. No, I'm just kidding.
You, I don't mind embarrassing. I know you.
Right. Steve, hello. Joanna, Michael. Very good. So what I was going to say was, and you'll have to tell me where it's at. It's in Deuteronomy, I'm pretty sure. Christianity calls the law a curse, but in the Torah itself, it says, "What other nation has such wise laws, wise and amazing? The painted is amazing laws as what we have." And the Christians are calling it a curse. And so that was the very first thing that came to mind when you mentioned the topic tonight. And so, there's all kinds of places where it says, that making it sound like in the Torah it says the law is too far, you can't reach it, but that's actually not what it's saying in the Torah. They kind of misappropriating or misusing the text of Tanakh.
Misquoting God's word.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, all right, Okay, so everybody, I'm thinking everybody sees what I see, and that is Andrea. She's one of our admins here and my moderators. Rabbi Stuart Federow is as well. And so the rules of engagement are, guys, you don't have to believe what we believe, but don't use this channel to advertise, and don't repeat your statements over and over and over again, hoping somebody will answer. If your question that you have or comment that you have is
plant their seed of doubt.
If your comment or question is legitimately good enough for what we're doing, then Andrea or Larry, another moderator, thank you, sir, for all your hard work. They can tag me with the question if you want to, or comment. Otherwise, any all caps stuff that seems like you're yelling, all that stuff will be deleted. And if you repeatedly violate these healthy rules, then you may be blocked from commenting. So just respect the chat rules. And but yeah, all faiths are welcome. You don't have to believe what we believe. Just don't be rude, and just be open-minded. Have a good time.
And I also like their statement: "Do wackadoo, wackadoo, wackatroll, wackatroll, wackatroll."
Hello, Alan. Good to see you. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, Stanislaw, we'll come back to you on that because we're going to go ahead and start with this right here. Towards the end, I'm going to copy this right now and save it. I'll save your question now, but we'll get back to it later if we have time, okay?
Yeah, you won't like my answer, Stanislaw. So. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, Rabbi, no more looking at chat, at least for you for right now.
Oh, you're no fun.
Okay.
All right, so pull up Galatians 3.
All right, here we go.
Okay, pull up Galatians 3.
Okay, let me downsize this.
This is where the conversation begins, more or less.
Okay.
This is where Paul calls the law a curse. Okay.
It's up. It's all yours.
Okay. So in Galatians 3, and if you want, you can pull up where it says verse 10.
Okay.
Okay. There's more stuff in the first 9 verses, but for right now, we'll just start with verse 10.
Got it.
Okay. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is every one that continues not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man that does them shall live in them. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is every one that hangs on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Jesus Christ, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. Okay, what is it saying? Okay, it's saying that the law's purpose is to curse the people. Now, what law are they talking about? What's this generic law? The law is a curse. The works of the law, okay? The law cannot justify. What's the law here?
Did you notice how they slipped in a little distorted version of Leviticus 18:5?
Absolutely. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay. But when it's talking about the law, what is it talking about?
The commandments, not the 10 commandments, but I mean the entire law.
Exactly. Which law? The laws of the Bible.
Right, right.
They're talking about the God-given laws to the Jewish people at Sinai and beforehand. And these laws from God, Paul is calling, not Jesus, remember, Paul is calling a curse.
Right.
Okay, I don't want to take out the time to look at it, but if you take a look at Matthew, Jesus is actually pro-law. Okay, Jesus says, people who teach men not to do the law shall be least in the kingdom of heaven. But
Matthew
people
5.
who, where does the phrase, do as I say, not as I do, or what's the other line? At any rate, it comes from the New Testament where Jesus says, do what the Pharisees tell you, because even if they don't follow their own words, what they're telling you is what you're supposed to do. And it even says that the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. What does that mean? It means that the Pharisees, who later became the rabbis, have the right idea, and they are in place of Moses' power. Okay, they're continuing, Judaism. So it's Paul who disagrees with Jesus when it comes to the law, and Paul represents the law, which is God's law, as a curse. Okay, so what we're dealing with, according to Paul, is God who brings people in the world, gives them laws they cannot keep, to teach them that they need Jesus to die for the sins they committed by not keeping the law. Is that a fair statement? Is that
Yes.
a fair analysis of what Paul is writing?
Yeah, it reminds me of the meme on Facebook we've seen before. It's like Jesus is outside knocking on the door, and he says, "Let me in." Right? And he goes,
Right.
"For what?" It says, "For."
Let me in.
So I can forgive you for not letting me in, and then send you to. No, I don't know. I can't remember how it goes, but
Right, I know. You should collect memes. You could put them up on the screen.
oh yeah,
It'd be
right.
funny.
That would be funny.
All right, so Paul writes that the law is a curse, and it says, and what laws? It's the laws that God gave us. So Paul, the human being, is telling other human beings that God only gave us the law to tell us we cannot keep the law, to show us that eventually we're going to have to believe in Jesus to save us from the sins of not keeping the law that God gave us.
Right.
Okay, so there's an awful lot that we have to talk about. Okay. By the way, it's a Matthew chapter 5 verse
17.
I'm sorry?
5:17 or 5:13, something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine. Verily I say to you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all is fulfilled. And last I looked, heaven and earth are still here, which means Jesus himself is saying that the law is still functioning.
Right.
Okay, whosoever therefore breaks one of the least of the commandments and teaches men also, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, for I say to you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no way enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, you also have, and it was Matthew 23.
Yeah, 23,
okay.
1 through 3.
Oh, you are so good. Okay. Then spoke Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you to observe and do, but do not go after their works, for they say, but they do not do. In other words, they say it, but they don't follow it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Paul and his Jesus are having a major argument here about the efficacy and purpose and function of the law. Okay, now, there's a line that we read, okay, from Galatians. Let me go back to Galatians. The one
that stood out 3. To me was 12. It says, and the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. And it makes it sound like that's a negative thing.
Well, but take a... I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
But in I think it's in Leviticus and in Ezekiel, both those are positive things, not negative things.
And we're going to get to those positive things and why they are considered positive.
Cool.
In just a couple of minutes. But before we get there,
okay,
the line before that, okay,
yeah.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
No man is justified by the law in the sight of God. It is evident. For the just shall live by faith. What does it mean? What's he saying here? Nobody is justified by the law. What does it mean to be justified? What's that word mean, justified?
Just as if I never did anything wrong, basically.
To make you without sin.
Now listen, here's how we see Paul speaking out of both sides of his mouth, right? Because right here he says that no man is justified by the law, right? However, if you go to Romans 2:13, he says, for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but only the doers of the law will be justified. Totally flip-flopped his 100%, 180-degree polar opposite of what he says in one, he says in the other. And the Christians will say, well, that's because he was talking to Jews here and he was talking to Romans here.
Oh, so that means he talks on both sides of his mouth, changes his theology to fit whoever his target is?
It should be one message for everybody.
How moral, how ethical.
It should be one message for everyone, yeah.
Right. Okay, but let's go back to this idea of the law. He is saying that the reason why the Jews, sorry,
it's okay,
that the Jews keep the law is because he thinks by keeping the law, we are making ourselves without sin. Okay, but does that even make sense?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. We don't keep the law of God to be made without sin because we only sin when we stop keeping the law.
Mm-hmm.
Law, see, this is based on the idea that human beings are born with the taint of sin from birth.
Right.
And he thinks what he's saying here is we're tainted from birth with sin because of Adam and Eve's fall, as if, and we keep the law to get rid of that sin. The problem, of course, obviously, is we don't think there's original sin. We don't believe in original sin. We're not keeping the laws of God to get rid of that sin because we don't believe we have the sin to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? No man shall be put to death for the sins of his children. No child will be put to death for the sins of his parents. But each man shall be put to death for his own sin. Okay? Roughly, that's what Deuteronomy 24:16 says. So the idea that we suffer because Adam and Eve sinned is not what we're talking about here. So his whole basis of saying no man is justified by the law assumes his theology, Christian theology, of original sin. Jews don't keep the law to be justified. Jews keep the law because keeping the law makes our lives better off because God cares about us and wants us to do God's laws. That's why he gives it to us in the first place. Mm-hmm. A parent who loves the child doesn't say to the child, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. The parent who loves the child says, you got to have a specific behavior or you're going to get into trouble.
Furthermore, that's what I was going to confer with right there. The law, if a Jew, I'm going to say Jew because Christians like saying Jews in their law. If a Jew violates a part of the law, that's still not sin. It's only sin if they refuse to fix it. If they do something wrong, and then they refuse to fix it, now they're in trouble. But as long as they fix it according to the law, then they complied with the law.
But until they fix it, they're still they've already disobeyed the law, so they have in fact sinned. And it's when they follow the law itself by doing what they're supposed to do to apologize and atone for the sin.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. That's better said. Yeah.
Okay. But that's a very important point. Okay. If you get a ticket, you're driving along, you're speeding by accident or on purpose, and the police pull you over and they give you a ticket, how do you get out of the ticket?
Right. You don't go to court and you hide.
Right. And if you do that,
that's when you're in trouble. Yes, right. Exactly. That's when you're in trouble.
So what tells us that we get rid of the ticket by paying a fine, by taking the class? Okay, it's the law itself that tells us how to get on the right side of the law when we transgress the law. And God's law is no different. God's law itself tells us how to repent for sin, stop doing the bad, start doing the good, and God forgives you.
So you're bringing up a whole new point. So you're basically and this is true. What you're saying is true, but what it's saying on a different spin is Christianity is not only not forgiving you for the law, but they're actually causing you to violate it more, because they're saying you can be forgiven without doing the remedy part to do it. Jesus will
because you've got Jesus.
Because you got Jesus, you don't have to pay that guy back. You don't have to fix that guy's windshield. You don't have to do this. You don't, and that's a pure violation of the law itself. So
right, but it astounds me.
Harry H. Good comment. Right, good
Christianity doesn't demand of its membership, of its Christian community, to confront the fact that they have transgressed against another person by saying, go to the person and talk to them and become friends again. What's that called?
I missed the word. I missed what you said. What did you say?
What is it called when you get back on somebody's good side? You apologize. I can't think of the word. Whatever the word is. The point is that in Christianity, all you have to do is believe in Jesus. You're forgiven for the sin. They don't send you back to confront what you've done with the person against whom you've sinned.
Right.
Like the bumper sticker, which we've mentioned a number of times. Christians aren't perfect. They're just forgiven.
Redeem yourself. Dystopian. That's the close. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's with whatever.
Reunited,
the point is that
restitution.
You don't have to You don't have to do that. Yeah. All you have to do is believe in Jesus. You're forgiven for the sin, and there's no demand, and I mean requirement.
Reconcile. This is jeopardy.
Thank you. Reconcile. Whoever said that, thank you.
Larry Beck.
To reconcile. Okay, you just have to just believe in Jesus, and God forgives you for whatever you did to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go back to this law business. Okay, the real problem here is that Christianity has a whole bunch of misunderstandings about law, about how the law works, about the purpose of the law. So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? You're driving along. These are my analogies I invented. You're driving along.
I like analogies.
Because they make it very clear.
Absolutely.
You're driving along and you come to a school zone. And you have to slow down when you go through an active school zone. Okay? How fast can you go in a school zone?
Whatever the speed limit says. 15?
Think again. 20.
I don't drive through school zones. I don't know these things.
All right. So it's 20 miles in a school zone. So you slow down to 20 miles an hour. You go into the school zone. And while you're in the school zone, you look at your speedometer, and it says that you're going 23.
Mitzvah Golim said 55.
Yeah, right. Okay. Remember he said that. We'll come back to it. Okay.
Hey, just to clarify, Dystopian says 15 where he's at, so thank you, sir.
Oh, really? Cool.
Cool. I don't know where he's from. Where are you from? I'm just curious, Dystopian. Very good. All right. Anyway.
All right. So
okay,
you go to the school zone. You're going 23 miles an hour. You're supposed to go 20. Or let's say it's 15 and you go 18 miles an hour. Are you breaking the law?
Wait, say that again.
You're going 23 miles an hour in a 20 mile an hour school zone.
You're breaking the law.
You are breaking
Absolutely
the law.
Are. Yep.
Okay. Is a police officer likely to pull you over for going 23 in a 20 mile an hour school zone?
In a school zone, absolutely.
At 23?
Absolutely, it's double the speed limit right there. I mean, it's a double fine for that. Now, if you're in a regular zone, no, but in a school zone, that's the one place around here. Heck yeah, I hear people telling me stories all the time. They went like 2 miles over in a school zone, and they got pulled over and got like an insanely high ticket for it. High ticket for it.
My argument would be that they are more likely to get that ticket for being barely over the speed limit in the school zone in August, September than they would be likely to get a ticket for going 23 in a school zone in May, June.
Well,
why?
Right. Well, it's not enforced then. I mean, the school zone is only applicable during school time.
So it's still school in May, June.
No, I'm saying no, it's not. That's my point. I mean, even on the weekends, it's a school zone during.
No. I'm not. Okay, then let's say April, May. Okay. My point is they're more likely to give you a ticket at the beginning of the school year rather than at the end of the school year because they want you to set your habits correctly. Now you know why God is more strict in the Bible than God is now.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's my point.
Okay, cool.
All right. So next thing.
Didn't mean to derail that. Sorry.
All right. Why are we supposed to go 20 miles an hour in a school zone?
For protection.
Of who?
Of everybody. The children, well, more the children than anybody else. Kids that don't have body armor around them like a vehicle does.
Well, because if you hit them at 20, is it better than hitting them at 55?
Well, yeah, but they still don't have body armor.
Okay, so if we hit them at 20, they are more likely to survive even though we know they'll still get hurt.
Right.
Okay. If you're going 20, it's easier and faster to stop your car if you have to than if you're going 55.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Every reason we've come up with is obviously incorrect.
Okay.
The only reason why we go 20 miles an hour in a school zone is to teach us that we cannot go 20 miles in a school zone. We will eventually break the law, and therefore we need the judge to forgive us.
Oh, touche. Very
Isn't
nice.
That what Christianity
that's
says?
Exactly what. That's exactly right. Oh my gosh.
Okay. The purpose and function of the law is to make our lives better off. God, like a loving parent, gives us God's laws, not to teach us we can't keep them, but because when we keep them, it makes our lives better off.
That's got to be one of the best analogies or metaphors.
Well, I think so because I invented it.
That was really good, Rabbi. Very, very.
All right. Oh, I've got more coming at you.
Cool.
Okay?
Bring it.
All right.
Putting you full screen.
Next thing.
Okay.
If a person is driving in a school zone and they're going 23, as we said, they are in fact breaking the law, right?
Correct.
Therefore, they should get the death penalty because to break one law is the same as breaking every law. And if you sin, then death is the wages for sin. And it doesn't matter what law you break, you should all get the death penalty for having sinned, right?
You may have just surpassed Rabbi Singer in getting Christians hating you. That's good. That's good.
I cannot surpass him in anything. Okay, but the point is that the purpose and function of the law, okay, let me start over. Okay, let me start over. All right. If I break the law of stealing, according to the Bible, my punishment is to return what I've stolen and give them 20% of its worth as recompense.
Right, depending on what it was, right.
Well, the Bible is automatically making a distinction between the laws because the punishment is not the same.
Mm-hmm, right.
If I commit first-degree premeditated cold-blooded murder, I get the death penalty. But if I steal, I only have to pay it back, and I only have to give it back and then pay 20% of what it's worth also, in addition, as recompense.
Mm-hmm.
So God, by saying that the punishment for stealing is not the same punishment as of first-degree murder, God is distinguishing between the laws. They are not the same. And just because I break one law does not mean I break all of the laws. Okay? And there's a different punishment for every law. So obviously, we don't get the death penalty for going 23 miles an hour in a school zone.
You know, I mean, is that Leviticus where most of the laws are defined, right?
Not necessarily. There are plenty of in Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
I remember when going back to when I was struggling with Christianity or Messianic. It's still Christianity. When I was struggling with Messianic and their view of sin, I mean, that's the one thing that kept repeating itself in my mind, because I kept going back, and I have this little audio Bible. I'd listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. And one thing I was totally amazed with is how ridiculous the New Testament claims are about one sin being equal to another whenever that very fact. It's like, you know, I mean, even whenever if you stole a sheep versus you stole somebody's bull, I mean, the penalties even for those are different. And I'm thinking, and everything has a solution. It's like, how could they lump all that into one pile? And then the Torah says, do not call that thing which is evil good, and that thing that is good evil. And that's almost what the New Testament is doing by lumping everything together, is doing both of those sins at the same time.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay, here's another one for you.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
You're driving along, and forget that. Let's jump to another one. Okay. See, ordinarily, I can't ask you this, William, because you do. Okay. But most people don't drive an 18-wheeler, a truck, right?
Right. I don't drive an 18-wheeler, but I used to drive a commercial vehicle, a cement mixer.
Okay, fine. But not an 18-wheeler?
Correct. I've never
fine. So, William, you should get a ticket because you haven't fulfilled the laws of driving an 18-wheeler.
Man.
You should go to jail.
Yep. Right. And to further that, I should also be thoroughly punished for not obeying the laws of Nidah, for the laws regarding a woman, the laws of the priest, the laws of the one in the land. I'm guilty of all of these things, and I had nothing to do with any of them. Right.
But Christianity believes that a person has to fulfill all the 613 laws, and if you don't, and we read that in Galatians, then cursed is the man who even doesn't, obey one law.
Right.
Okay. So the fact is that I don't get a ticket for not obeying the laws of driving an 18-wheeler until I get behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler. Those laws don't apply to me.
Right.
And the same thing for being a woman. I'm not a woman. They don't apply to me. I don't live in Israel. The laws of being in Israel don't apply to me. I'm not a farmer. I'm not a farmer in Israel. The laws of being a farmer or a farmer in Israel don't apply to me.
I lost count. Et cetera. I lost count of how many times Christians have accused me of not being able to keep every law. And even when I would tell them things like this, they were just like numb to it. They had no. It's like I was in one ear and out the other. They didn't care I said it. They didn't process it. They didn't try to figure out if it was right or wrong. They just kept making the same thing. Yeah, brainwashing, right.
Cognitive dissonance, because they hear something that contradicts their belief.
Yeah.
They can't hear it. The brain can't process it. So, okay.
Hey, Rabbi, Devin said as a show title might be a good option, is Christianity an abusive relationship? That would be an interesting.
Did you know that there is actually a website for people coming out of fundamentalist evangelical faiths for mental, spiritual, emotional trauma?
Wow.
I don't remember the name of the website, but I'll have to find it.
Well, we should find that website and maybe do a show using that title that Devin mentioned. Is Christianity an abusive relationship? But it'd be better if we had people who actually could talk about their trauma from being in these fundamentalist, evangelical, Pentecostal, whatever denominations of Christianity. Yep, right.
Okay, because you and I, you might have a better, but I can't talk about it because I didn't suffer it. I suffered, but not the way everybody else, because they were in it.
Right.
I suffered from
Mitzvah Golem says each town or in the country state feds have tons and thousands of laws Christians never complain about. And just I've used that point one time. I think about when I first came out about 7.5 years ago. I heard something on the news that the U.S. had passed 20,000 laws in 1 year. There were modifications to laws. And not a single person complained about 20,000. We're talking 613 here. 20,000 laws, and it's like, but you're not a lawbreaker if you already covered all that. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
No. That's you're right. Additional information. Say it.
Right. I mean, you're not guilty of like, well, you already said, like, of the 18-wheeler. I don't drive an 18-wheeler, but I'm not going to get a ticket for not having my 18-wheeler tires and having them up to par because I don't own them.
Exactly. That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
And there's another misconception that Christianity has about Jewish law. Okay? Oh, it's only about rituals. It's all ritualistic. It's all legalistic ritual.
Wow.
Okay? If you don't mind, take a look at Exodus 21.
Oh, Exodus 21, I got it. I think I've already got it pulled up, maybe. No, but I'll pull it up. Here we go. Okay, book list.
And remember, we're still talking the Torah. We're still talking the Bible. We're still talking Jewish law. We're still talking the laws of God that Paul says are only there to curse you. Okay?
Gotcha.
And Christianity believes it's ritualistic and whatever.
Exodus 21. This is where the laws first begin. This is where the definition of all the laws start hitting. I love the fact that they've got the laws of the servants up front. That, to me, that's like amazing.
All right. Well, I want you to go to verse 33.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Scrolling.
Keep
that Torah
Keep those
rolling.
verses rolling. scrolling. Raw hot. I'm sorry.
Okay, there we go. So, by the way, that is not my donate button. I should cover that up. Let's go down. There we go. And outside of here.
Okay.
33 right
So,
there.
verse
And if a man
33.
shall open a... Yep, go ahead.
Now remember something. Okay, a misconception of Jewish law that Christians have is that all ritualistic nonsense. Okay? Verse 33, and if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And tell me what the ritual is that? Why is that ritualistic? Okay, why is that the Jewish law? That's called the laws of tort, lawsuit.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I have a dog and I walk my dog and my dog goes onto your property and you have a hole in your property and the dog falls in, God forbid, and breaks its leg, God forbid, who's responsible for my dog? Mm-hmm. You are. It's your property. You have to maintain it. It's the same thing that we've got here, but it's not about ritual.
Right.
Okay. Another one I want you to look at. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Take a look at Deuteronomy 22 verse 8. Deuteronomy 22 verse 8.
Oh, but you're going to the Old Testament.
I know, and it's nothing but laws about ritual. Okay, it's only about ritualistic laws. It's legalism.
Angry God up in the sky waiting to zap you with a thunderbolt.
Right, for bringing you to the world to and command you to do laws you can't keep till he can get mad at you for not keeping them.
22:10?
22:8.
22:8.
Okay.
Okay, it's up.
Okay,
I'll just read it. When you build a new house, you shall make a battlement, a fence, or a handrail for your roof, so that you not bring blood upon your house. And if any man, God, I hate King James. So basically, if you have a new house, you must put a guardrail up on your roof so that no one. Actually, it says so that the fallen doesn't fall from your roof, which is really cool midrash. But anyway, yeah, good point.
The point though is that's not ritual. That's a building code.
Right.
In other words, Jewish law incorporates the exact same kind of issues that every single society, culture, community, city, county, state, country has to protect its people. Okay, this is a building code that protects the people in the building.
Excellent. Right.
So if you're going to be on the roof having a party, you've got to have a rail to stop people from falling off.
Right.
Okay, that's a building code. So the idea, the misconception Christians have, is that Jewish law, well, that's all ritualistic, it's all ritual. It's not. It's the same kind of laws that every other society has.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
XYZ, hello, Tonight the Owl. Good to see you guys. Been watching y'all's comments. Keep it up. Keep it up. Looking good.
Okay. My next question also relates to a school zone.
Okay.
Where in the United States Constitution does it say you have to drive a car at 20 miles an hour in a school zone?
That's Article 17C, 54A. Just kidding. I have no idea.
It doesn't say anything.
Right.
Why is it that the U.S. Constitution doesn't say anything about how fast you drive a car in a school zone? Because when they wrote the Constitution, they hadn't invented cars yet.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. So is driving a car at 20 miles an hour in a school zone adding to the law? Okay. Is it adding to the Constitution?
Right.
Are we adding laws when we're not supposed to the Constitution? No. We're taking the basic morals and ethics of the Constitution and applying them to new situations and new experiences and new inventions.
Ironically, I've heard Christians actually go as ridiculous as claiming that the Levirate marriage or the Levirate thing was an addition to the law. I'm like, that's in the law. How can it be an addition to it? It's in it. Anyway.
Yeah, but you got to remember that Christians only read certain parts. They don't read the whole Bible. They only read certain verses in the Bible.
Andre, you said, you're right, no cars back then. Except some people would argue that, it does say in Genesis that God drove them out of the garden. That was a joke.
Okay, drove them out.
And they were all in one accord. Actually, that wasn't okay. Carry on.
They were. Right, I know that joke too. Okay, so the point is that Jewish law doesn't add to the law. It takes the basic concepts and the morals and ethics of the Torah and applies them to new situations, new experiences, new inventions, no different than any other country's laws or state's laws or city's laws or whatever. Okay, it's the same thing. It's not that Jews add to the laws of the Bible that we're not supposed to do, don't add or subtract. It's that we're experiencing new experience. We're having new experiences, and new inventions are invented, and you have to deal with them from the perspective of what does God want? What does God want from us in our behavior?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So there are all these misconceptions that Christianity has. Okay. Let's see.
You're welcome, Janice. My pleasure. That was an old one. That's okay.
What was that?
Janice said, "Good jokes, William. Thanks for the chuckles." I'll do. You know why I do that? I do that because I like hearing Rabbi laugh. He's got such a cool laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Like
that's part of why I enjoy doing this every Monday night, William, because it's a conversation between you and me, and we go back and forth and joke around and have a good time.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
absolutely. Yes. It's better when you're in the studio, though, which I know. I can't complain. You've been inside my studio more than anybody else. And I've got another visit coming from you soon.
I'd like to be in a lot more often, but coronavirus, know.
So. Hey, guys, just check this out. Y'all might find this interesting. So even though we haven't talked about the plans for it, Rabbi Federow is going to, one of these days, come into the studio and go into my vocal recording booth and actually record an audio file for his book. So you will have an audio book, not just an audio book, but it's with Rabbi actually speaking the whole entire thing. Judaism and Christianity at contrast. By the way, I have to tell you this. I've only glanced through your books. I'm not a word reader. I'm a listener. But my wife, Chris, has been like devouring your book, and she is completely amazed at it's so precisely detailed and rich, but it's easy to understand. She said, I like Rabbi Singer's stuff, but she said, but it's kind of like reading an encyclopedia. And it is, because he goes through
he's
much
got an
detail.
Encyclopedic mind I will never have.
Right, but the point is, she was so very much delighted. I mean, that book stays on the stand, and they actually read it during homeschool. that's one of the things that they're doing. They're actually going through it on homeschool. It's really awesome. So guys, Judaism and Christianity Contrast, fantastic book. Just for a second, I'm going to put this on your screen along with a couple other kind of missionary works with Revealing Matthew's Secret, Jason the Cross. That wasn't planned. It's up there. James Wood Jr., Leaving Jesus. That was the book that set me free from the curse of the law. I'm just kidding. And the Rabbi Tovia Singer's books also. Those CDs are no longer available. You guys will have to download the audio files from the website. But the top left corner, Judaism and Christianity in Contrast, soon coming to you at a theater near you via audiobooks. Yay!
Yeah. That's recorded at your studio.
It will be recorded at the studio. Absolutely. I'm going to make sure that happens too. So very cool.
Right.
Very cool.
Okay, so this one is a little touchy, okay, but it's a concept I've not only heard from Christians about Jewish law, I've also heard it by Jews about Jewish law. But it's a misconception. People don't understand law, and they don't understand how it works. Let's go back to the concept of a school zone again.
Okay, very
good.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into a school zone and you see that you're going 25 miles an hour in a 20 miles an hour school zone, you're breaking the law. We already said that.
Right.
So therefore, it should be okay if you go 90. I mean, you're breaking the law at 25. You may as well go 90. Okay? That's what they say.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
If you break one law, it's as if you broke all the laws.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. So instead of getting a $200 ticket, you'll get an $800 ticket because that's like the.
If you get get caught.
Oh yeah, right. That's true.
But the person who says, "Hey, I'm breaking the law at 25. I may as well go 90." What's to stop them? Well,
right.
Common sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, but this brings up an issue of how people relate to Jewish law, even some Jews, by the way. And it's a shame. It really is. Okay?
Right.
If I go 25 in a school zone, I would personally say that most of the time I'm not going to get a ticket. Even if a police officer sees me barely go over, in the beginning he'll be tough. Okay? But who's more compassionate? Who is more merciful? Who is more forgiving? A police officer or God?
Right.
Okay, so God is going to,
okay.
God knows that we're not going to be perfect because God made us imperfect and wants us to help ourselves perfect ourselves.
Right. Okay, Rabbi, I'm going to pull this out because I think you're definitely going to want to jump on this. First of all, Carmine FR. Carmine, I'm hoping I'm saying your name correctly. Carmine, I'm saying it 3 times, hoping that if you were talking, you can actually hear me talking to you. So, Carmine, I would like Rabbi Federow to comment on what your comment was. It looks like maybe a Christian here. It says the first commandment, the Lord God commanded the man, saying, "You are free to eat all the tree. Liberty is the first commandment. Let my people go. Stop censoring the gospel."
I have no idea what he said. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It was confusing. I had to read it a few times myself. Well, first of all, that's not even the whole commandment anyway. That's the cherry picking to begin with. So, basically, they're saying, "Let my people go," talking about all the rabbis. Stop censoring the gospels. So you are guilty of snuffing out the important truths and jewels of the gospel message, right?
But the gospels have no truth. The gospels have no good message.
Right. So what was
the gospel? Go ahead.
She says, she says the first commandment was the Lord God commanded the man, saying, "You are free to." That's not true. The first commandment was actually to be fruitful and multiply.
Bingo. Thank you.
So, not sure where. You know what's funny though? Whenever I see things like this, it strengthens my responses because I realize these people don't know what they're talking about, and they're only recoiling or retaliating using tactics that they were taught to use by their church or by their false leaders, the ones who are, the wolves in sheep's clothing, are teaching these people lies. And so, thank you for approaching it that way because it really helps me to pinpoint where you come from, or where you were. Your mindset was. So very good.
Okay. By the way, saying you are free to eat what you want or free to eat only from the trees, okay, is a limitation to their freedom because the statement is saying you are only free to eat what you want. It's not saying you're free to murder. It's not saying you're free to commit stealing. It's not saying you're free to eat spinach every day. Okay. It's saying you are free to eat of the trees. Spinach, by the way, doesn't grow on trees. Okay, it's a limited form of freedom and not an all-expansive kind of freedom. So again, what are you talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? The first law of God is not liberty. The first law of God is be fruitful and multiply. And saying you are free to eat what you want from trees is a limited form of freedom. It's not an all-encompassing freedom. Okay? So not quite sure what he means.
Harry
and
H.
when he makes the statement, by the way, of stop censoring the gospel, stop censoring the gospel. I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in the gospel.
Right.
I don't believe in the New Testament. The New Testament is not inspired by God. It's not written by God. It's not from the Holy Spirit. You may as well tell me about what's his name, Collodi, Pinocchio. Okay. Anything by Stephen King, okay?
Right.
I will censor the gospel all I want because the gospel is your New Testament, your Bible, not mine.
Right. And by the way, just to
by
clarify,
the way, since it's his, excuse me, William, since it's his, not mine, he has to defend it. I don't.
Is it Jeremiah 31, Rabbi? That
Yes.
says that I'll create a new covenant between the house of Judah. So where in that? What verse is that first? I want to put that on screen.
It's Jeremiah 31.
Very good. I'm going to put that on screen because I really want you. I already forgot the name of the person who was commenting on it, but I really want you to look at this because you're quoting from the New Testament or what would be called the New Covenant. And so,
by the way, did you notice his blame the Jews? They're going to crucify me and blame the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but it was Rome who crucified him, and the reason why they put over Jesus's head, okay, the statement "Jesus Christ, King of the Jews," is because even the New Testament itself calls it the accusation. Why is it the accusation? Right. Because Jesus was considered, the king instead of the emperor in Rome, and this is insurrection, and that's why he was crucified by Rome, not the Jews.
So here you go. We're still talking to you, any Christian really who's actually watching, and this is not to be disrespectful at all. But
whoa! I will never apologize for what I believe based on how they hear it.
I didn't apologize. I'm just saying what I'm fixing to do is not going to be done in an offensive way, or it's not with the intent of being offensive. So, behold, the days come. This is a prophecy. It's probably one of the only prophecies, if not the only prophecy, if you want to call it that, in the Hebrew Scriptures, which y'all would call the Old Testament, that says anything about a New Testament or New Covenant. And so if that's true, then you should really pay attention to the details of what it says in this sentence. In the days come, saith the Lord, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It does not say with the nations. It doesn't say with the non-Jews. It says specifically with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. And for all you people who want to argue that, you can say that you're being grafted in because you're one adopted in, but that still does not fit you into this category, period, no matter how you slice it.
But there's more to that.
Please.
When it says, make a covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, Israel is the northern kingdom, Judah is the southern kingdom. When it says, I will make the new covenant with the house of Judah and the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
Oh my God, I never saw that before. Holy cow. Yeah, you're right.
It means that the northern kingdom and the southern
tribes.
kingdom get reunified.
The 12 tribes.
Exactly. Yep. All 12 tribes together will be part of this new covenant.
Wow.
Okay. We haven't found all the tribes. We found remnants of many of them. We haven't found all of them. Therefore, this could not have taken place. But let me show you something that's even more important. Okay? Notice that it says, verse 31, behold, the days come, saith the Lord. That's how we know that this is a future prophecy of what will happen, right?
Absolutely.
Now go to verse 27. Four verses before this. Okay, you got it barely hidden by the top of the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
There it is. Okay. Verse 27. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord. It's the same beginning. Why? Because it's the same prophecy. And look what it says in this prophecy.
Wow.
I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. What does that mean? That the tribes will grow in population.
Wow.
And they will grow in wealth because that's what it means to increase the beast. Keep reading. It becomes even more interesting.
Man.
And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord. In other words, why was the northern kingdom destroyed and why was the southern kingdom exiled?
Sinat Chinam and idolatry.
Thank you.
Groundless hatred for Kingdom 1 and idolatry for Kingdom 2, which means idolatry is still happening, which means there's not going to be a kingdom built until that's resolved.
Okay.
Temple, sorry.
No, but my point is,
Whatever.
is that, again, it's saying that the house of Judah, the southern kingdom, and the northern kingdom, the house of Israel, will be reunited. Okay? They will increase in population and in wealth. Then what does it say? That God will watch over them now, because as he brought them low with the exile, with the destruction of the kingdom, now that they're back unified, he's going to increase them and watch over them to build and to plant. Okay, keep reading.
Beat your swords in a plowshare.
Okay, and this is evident in verse 31. It says that when it comes to pass, this stupid idea that someone else can die for your sin will no longer be believed.
Wow. Unbelievable.
They always go to 31, but they ignore the context, and they forget that the verse right before 31 denies the whole basis of Christianity.
Wow. That's
Okay?
crazy.
And by the way, look what it says following verse 31. In 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke, although I was a husband to them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. Okay? For they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, saith the Lord, and I will forgive their sin, and I will remember their sin no more.
So why is it
Wait, William. Let me make this point first.
Absolutely.
It's saying that you will not have to proselytize to know God when this covenant is made. And if Christians use this to proselytize,
that's what I was going to say.
They're admitting that
this hasn't
the new
happened
covenant
yet.
hasn't happened yet.
Totally agreed. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Right.
Now, I have a question I'm not shutting us down because I can go for a little longer if you want. But I saw something today. I'm big into comedy, and some of the comedians I like have bad mouth. Like I used to love Eddie Murphy. And his favorite word was the F-bomb, and I hated that part, but it was part of his act. But I saw something. And I won't play it here unless y'all tell me. Just go ahead. But there's a guy named Chris Adalia or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he did a thing on the Catholic Church is creepy that was so funny because it was so true, and the things that he was talking about was just absolutely insane. I won't play it, but I'll definitely get you his name. That way, if you want to look it up, you can. I just know that he was spot on. It was so hilarious. His name was Chris, D'Elia, CHRS, and then D'Elia. So if you look that up, just look that up and then look up.
How do you spell the last name?
Capital D, apostrophe, capital ELIA. And look that up and do the Catholic Church is creepy. It's not because it's not just the Catholic Church, but he may think so because that's the only church he ever went to. But mainstream Christianity does the same thing, and it really talks about primarily about taking the sacraments, right? With the eating the body and drinking the flesh.
Yeah, eating the blood and the flesh. It's called cannibalism.
Yeah, and that's a whole show within itself. I mean, we would have to take, but I'm telling you this. But just if you've got sensitive ears, don't watch it. But if you can tolerate it and just mute it out, it was so spot on. I couldn't help myself. So, but I won't play it. But anyway,
there's something that Carmine Fr said.
Oh, let me go back. I want to see.
I'm sorry. What?
I want to see where's the comment that YouTube looking up.
Unfortunately,
no, it's okay. Hold on, I got you. Okay, here we go. I got it right here. Israel is okay. So thank you, Andrea, for blocking, because apparently Carmine has no desire whatsoever to learn. But I'll go ahead and read this out because I think this is what you wanted to comment on.
No, it isn't.
Oh, it's not. Do you see what I just...
the one I'm talking about is from Carmine FR. Yeah. By the way, FR is usually short for father. So maybe Carmine is a ordained priest.
Oh.
Because FR is usually father.
Tell me what the content of the comment was, because I've got something highlighted right now you can't see.
Abraham said, swear an oath that you will not take a woman from among the Canaanites to be a wife for a son of Abraham. Judah and Tamar created the Jews out of the Canaanites. They need salvation.
Oh, you're a moderator. You're an admin. That's why you can see it. I see. Okay, cool. That way. I was going to say, how do you see that? Because I have to click the link to actually see that. Okay.
Well, for mine it said, click here if you want to see the.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's the benefits of having a wrench.
It was not by Andrea. It was by somebody else.
Okay, gotcha. So what is your first reread the question, because no one else can see that, and then comment.
Abraham said, swear an oath that you will not take a woman from among the Canaanites to be a wife for a son of Abraham. Judah and Tamar created the Jews out of the Canaanites. They need salvation. So what he's implying is that the Jews are only the tribe of Judah. Clearly, he hasn't read the Bible. And in 2 Chronicles, it's very clear that the Jews are named for the nation called Judah, the southern kingdom called Judah, not for the tribe of Judah. And in the nation, the southern nation called Judah, every single tribe existed there. And so the word Jew can refer to anybody from any tribe of the people of Israel. That's one thing. And second of all, in the book of Esther, it calls Mordecai, who was from the tribe of Benjamin, a Jew. So that's not the tribe of Judah either. And in Esther, the 8th chapter, the last verse or verses of the chapter, it says that people became Jews.
Right.
Okay? When it says that people became Jews, it's talking about people who were never part of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. So
so it means that the word Jew does not mean only the people from the tribe of Judah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Carmine, point being, this is the first time I've ever seen Carmine on this channel, so I don't want to be, I really don't want to be too abrasive, because, I mean, some people, Carmine, you have to understand, a lot of people come and they'll stay here for months and months and months and never wants to do anything but repeat this. You have to forgive the expression, but vomit is the only thing that comes to my mind. And I say, I was raised Christian. I know all this stuff. I wasn't Catholic, however, but I do know all the stuff you're teaching. I'm just saying that most people come here and do that. This is your first time I've seen you here, so I would encourage you to keep coming back, but I would encourage you to listen more instead of trying to say, because I guarantee you the things that you're going to find here, you've never experienced before in your life. I would almost guarantee that. I have a list of testimonies of preachers and ex-preachers and ex-preachers' wives and preachers' kids of about 40 or 50 people who came out of Christianity who taught the same thing you did. One of my teachers actually was the administrator for MJAA, the Messianic Jewish Alliance of America. And just in case, I just found this out today. Rabbi Yitzchak Michaelson, Ira, our dear friend, was actually he wasn't administrator. He was like the president or the vice president, whatever that was, the whole thing. He also left the New Testament behind. I'm telling you, this is you've really got to spend more time, Carmine, listening and paying attention, because I guarantee you're in foreign territory you've never experienced before. I'm just saying.
Would you do me a favor?
Yes.
William, go to Genesis 38.
Got it. Okay. Okay, let me pull this back up. 1 second. And there's up on your screen now. 38, what verse?
Verse 1.
Oh, sorry. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira.
Keep going.
And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her, and he went in unto her, they made coitus, whatever, and she conceived and bare a son, and they called his name
Keep going.
Is that like error? And
no.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Cheziv, when she bare him. And Judah took a wife.
Okay, now.
Sorry.
Okay, so the Canaanite, okay, is Shua.
Okay.
Okay, then it says in 38 verse 6, and Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Where does it say that she was a Canaanite? Okay, that's one thing. But let's assume that she is a Canaanite.
Rabbi, that was
Okay?
good. That was very
Okay.
good. Very good.
What-
High
all
five.
right.
Hey, high five.
Yeah.
In the screen. In the screen. There you go. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Verse 7.
Okay.
Okay. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go into your brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to your brother.
Not through himself. This is
No,
not
no.
for him to benefit. Anyway.
No. But why is that? Why is Judah saying to Onan that Onan should marry Tamar and raise up children to Er?
Because Tamar had no offspring to carry on the family line.
So what?
So teach us. What am I
What?
missing? What am I missing?
You're missing the point that the only reason why Tamar would be obligated to do this is if she was Jewish.
Oh.
Jewish law does not apply to non-Jews.
Wow.
The only reason, even if Tamar was born a Canaanite,
That was awesome.
okay, even if she was born a Canaanite, she only becomes liable to Jewish law, and it's called levirate marriage.
Which we talked about earlier, right?
Okay. If she converts to Judaism and becomes a Jew.
Dang, that's awesome.
Okay.
Wow.
And Judah said unto Onan, go into your brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass that when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother. Okay. And the thing which he did displeased God, and God slew him as well. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at your father's house till Shelach, my son, be grown. For he said, peradventure, he's going to die too. He has two sons that die trying to do the right thing, God's law, by marrying the woman, so that the children of that union become the children of the brother who died. Okay?
Yep, right.
All right. And Judah went in and dwelled in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up into his sheep shearers in Timnah, he and his friend Hirah the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, your father-in-law goes up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnah, for she saw that Shelach was grown, and had not been given to him as to be his wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned into her by the way, and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come unto you. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, what will you give me that you may come unto me? And he said, I'll give you a kid from the flock. And she said, give me a pledge till you send it. And he said, what pledge shall I give you? Your signet, your bracelets, and your staff that is in your hand. And he gave it to her, and he made her pregnant. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on her garments of her widowhood, because she had, her husbands had died.
Right.
Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I can't find her, and also the men of the place, that there's no harlot in this place. And Judah was said, well, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I send this kid, and you have not found her. And it came to pass 3 months later that it was told to Judah, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the harlot, and she's now pregnant by her being a prostitute. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are am I with child. And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose these are, the signet, the bracelets, and the staff. And Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I. Tamar was more righteous than Judah, because Tamar was zealous to keep God's law that was given to the Jews.
Right. Wow.
Okay, so Mr. whatever your name is, Carmine FR,
Yep.
okay, I don't know what you're talking about, because being a Jew doesn't mean you have to be from the tribe of Judah. The Bible is explicitly clear. The word Jew refers to people who weren't from any tribe and converted became Jews. And it refers to Mordechai, who was from the tribe of Benjamin, as a Jew. And in the book of 2 Chronicles, repeatedly it talks about members of every single tribe being in the southern kingdom called Judah, just like the United States has citizens of the United States who are from all sorts of backgrounds and nations and tribes and everything else. But they're still all Americans no matter what their background is, same thing. So, Carmine,
so
please pick up the Bible and read it before you open your mouth.
No, I think that now I'm always going the wrong way with this, but I think that Carmine may be throwing out things without expressing like a genuine concern. But if you just mentioned Carmine, no, just go with me on this. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. Let's just take a look at that and see what it says. So Jeremiah 17 verse 4. Okay, and so the comment, first I'll highlight and then I'll read the comment. The comment was, though your own fault, through your own fault, you will lose the inheritance I gave you. Okay, now that I'm seeing that, let's see. Yeah, Ms. Fagolim. That's okay. I wished I could watch the chat more because honestly, it makes the shows more interesting. So, Carmine,
we could do a whole thing just based on chats.
Yes. Oh my gosh, for sure. So, Carmine, I would like for you to realize. Okay, so right now, just for now, I'm going to put Carmine myself. I'm clicking on the three dots. I'm going to use my wrench. I'm going to put user in timeout for 300 seconds. Mainly, not because I'm being rude, but because I don't want you to comment. I want you to stop and listen. So Carmine, male, female, whatever, listen to this. You can't comment anymore. So you might as well just listen up, okay? So here we go. So whatever Jeremiah 17 4, if that even applies. If it doesn't, just go back to what he originally said and just keep moving forward on that.
Why does he not read all of Jeremiah 17? Why does he stop with only the verse he wants? Okay, about, what was the line? I forgot already. Discontinue from your heritage that I give you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know not, for you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. But that's what he reads from 17:4. Why doesn't he read further down where he says, verse 24, and it shall come to pass, if you diligently hearken unto me, saith the Eternal, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein, then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem in this city shall remain forever. Which means, stop doing the bad, start doing the good. God forgives you and God takes you back.
Right.
Don't you just love it when they just pick and choose which verse they're going to use?
Now look, actually, check this out. So Mitzvah Golem, I'm sorry, Devin said, cursed in the same chapter, which obviously Carmine did not see. And that's clearly says, thus saith the Lord, cursed is the man that trusteth in man. And make this flesh, whatever. Okay, so the point is, Jesus was a man. I don't care if you call him God or not. He was still a man. That's the whole point. And what is it? Isaiah says, "Do not put your trust in the princes of
Don't put your trust in the Son of Man.
Son of Man, which
it explicitly says Son of Man.
And Jesus was called the Son of Man how many times? Like 80 plus times in the New Testament.
Right.
So there you go. Cool, man.
Let's see.
It's 8:10. We're overboard, but we're going to keep going. You let me know when you get tired. We'll stop. This might be another. This might be a Tovia show. We might go 2 hours. Who knows?
Wait a minute. No, that's too long. People won't even. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Okay, so.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the specific quote that says, "Don't put your faith in a Son of Man."
Oh, that's Isaiah 60.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking in Jeremiah.
No, it's Isaiah.
Right, wait a minute. Let's see.
I'll look it up for you too. So 1 second. And if you guys know the verse already, put it up on the screen and we'll look for it here. So save us some time. So your trust in the Son.
Can't find it. I know it's there.
of
No,
man.
it's Psalm 146.
Oh, it was Psalm. Dang gummit.
Psalm. I was looking in Jeremiah.
Yep.
Psalm 146, verse
146:3.
3.
Yep, there you go.
Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help.
Okay, so now I want to look up something. I wished I had an online concordance because that's the one that uses the New Testament a lot. I want to see how many times the word "Son of Man" shows up in the New Testament. I think it's somewhere around 60 to 80 times. And this is saying, "Do not put your trust in the Son of Man."
In the Son of Man.
Right. Which is Son of Man, so therefore he can't be the Son of God to begin with. I mean, because he's actually called the Son of Man in the New Testament. But then again, you have John the Baptist rejecting that he's Elijah, which is what Jesus said. He's Elijah come in the flesh. And John said, no, I'm not. So what do we do here?
I know last week we talked about the sin that, let's see. Yeah, we already did that. All right.
Okay, so.
My mother, I've had teachers, plenty of people have told me, Stuart, you do not suffer a fool lightly. And I truly get upset when people say things like the Father Carmine, maybe it's Friar. No, it's Father. FR is usually Father. At any rate, I'll leave it at that.
So let's look up that verse.
Which one?
The one you just quoted, even though you didn't realize it. So Proverbs 23:9.
About put your trust in the Son of Man?
No, Proverbs 23:9. It says, "Do not speak to a fool; he will despise your wisdom and scorn your words," or something like that. So,
right, exactly. Say it again. What verse?
23:9. I think the King James. It's a New International Version says, "Do not speak to fools; they will scorn your prudent words, or despise the wise advice." Let's see. Yeah, Proverbs 23:9.
Speak not in the ears of fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. 23:9. Proverbs.
Yep, that's it right there.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Anything else on the chat that we should...
Let's find out. I just got one. Janice Hart's tags me. Google says the expression "the Son of Man" appears 81. Thank you very much. I was thinking of 60 to 80. Thank you, Janice. 81 times in the Greek, Koine Greek, for the Gospels. 30 times in 30 times in Matthew, 14 times in Mark, 25 times in Luke, 12 times. Do not put... Janice, thank you for that. I'm gonna actually copy this. I'm gonna put this on a Facebook post. Copy. I'm gonna go there right now, and I'm gonna tag you. Oh wait, I don't know if you're on Facebook or not, but I'm fixing to put that on Facebook, and I'm gonna copy paste.
Wait.
Janice, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So now Carmine FR says.
Wait. How do you say anything else? I actually put him on timeout.
He's back on. State any verse where Moses ever said God of the Jews or God of Judah. The only title given was God of Israel, and to be Israel, you must fulfill Exodus 12 to eat lamb in the matzos.
Okay, so you talked to Carmine.
First of all, wait a minute. Okay, the word Jew didn't occur until the first exile, when all the people of the southern kingdom, which would have included all the 12 tribes, were sent into exile. Okay, only after that period was the word Jew used.
Oh.
Okay, that's one thing. All right, it may have been used to refer to people who lived earlier, but the term Jew developed as from the nation of Judah, and began at the exile. Okay, and that's one thing. Second of all, okay, that's why the text of Moses would never use the term God of the Jews. Okay, the next thing he says is that to be Israel, you must fulfill Exodus 12 and eat lamb in the matzahs. Okay, so does that mean anybody who eats lamb with matzah, with unleavened bread, becomes a Jew or becomes Israel? That means all I have to do to become Israel is eat matzah with lamb? Is that what it's saying?
Wow.
Okay, by the way, God explicitly said that the Passover sacrifice of the lamb was to take place at the temple. Okay, at the temple. So anybody who says I can eat lamb with matzah and that makes me Israel, if they didn't buy it from the temple, oh wait, there is no temple. Okay.
Right.
Second thing that must be said about this is that I forgot what I was going to say.
It's okay.
Should have written it down as soon as I thought of it. All right, can't remember what I was going to say. The only title given was God of Israel. Yeah, the people of Israel, not the northern kingdom of Israel, but all of the people of Israel. Not only the descendants of the 12 tribes, but anybody who converted to Judaism became Israel, became the people of Israel, because they converted to the religion of Israel and therefore became a citizen of the nation. Okay, which, by the way, we discussed when we were talking about Tamar. Okay, so whatever.
Right.
Okay, the only title is going to.
Okay, so Janice, I'm putting a post on Facebook now. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but if we are, comment under it, and I'm going to tag you. I just don't know if you are. I don't know what your Facebook name is, but I'm posting it right now. God said, "Do not put your trust in the Son of." Wow, can I not type that or what? That's PUT. Okay, do not put your trust in the Son of Man. Psalm 146:3. But Google says the expression "Son of Man" appears 81 times in the Koine Greek. Good job, little lady. Thank you for that very much. Post. It's done. I mean, if we're not friends on Facebook, and if you don't have Facebook, you should create a Facebook account so we can stay connected. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Where are we at now? All right. Lori Cash, good to see you. Harry H.
Harry H. says, Janice, that's not true. I attend services at Chabad, and I'm a ger. Well, first of all, they're probably too nice to say, look, you really shouldn't be doing this.
Rabbi, wait. No one knows the context of what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Harry
H. is writing a response to Janice because Janice says to Carmine Father, Christians are forbidden to observe the Passover Seder and meal, so what you're quoting has nothing to do with Scripture. Okay? Harry's response is that Chabad allows him to attend services. Where does it say attend services means you're eating the Passover lamb, Passover Seder? Okay, it doesn't. Second of all, we're taught to be respectful of other people, and Chabad may not want to embarrass you by kicking you out.
So Harry H. is not a Christian, he says. So probably Ben Noach or something maybe.
But he says ger.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
he could mean two things by that. Right. He could mean a convert to Judaism, in which case they will treat him as a Jew, or he's talking about the ger like they're talking about, with B'nai Noach, kind of a subset of B'nai Noach. And one, do they know that? And two, even if they know that, they're not going to kick you out of services, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to invite you to their Seder either.
Right, true.
So I'm not quite sure what he means by that.
Yeah, that's okay. I think they're just making general casual comments. I think that Harry H. is probably safe for us all. He's not he's not a troll or anything. He's probably just kind of offering his experiences.
Yeah, he says he's a ger, not a Christian.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. So,
but if he's not fully converted to Judaism, okay.
Well, I'm not either though, and I'm a ger. So, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So,
Jesus taught Torah at the temple 3 years, and so he must have had authority because if any crazy person entered the temple, he would be arrested or killed right away. Jesus was someone big. First of all, the only place it talks about Jesus teaching the temple is in the Christian New Testament itself. You may want to believe that's true. I don't. That's a story that develops about Jesus to aggrandize Jesus, to make him look bigger. Okay? As a matter of fact, his parents in that paragraph, his mother doesn't even know why he's there. I guess she must have forgotten that her son was God or something. Okay? She goes to look for him and can't find him, and she's surprised that he's in the temple. And what did she forget? What happened with the announcement, the Annunciation? Did she forget that her son was born of a Holy Spirit instead of having a human father?
Right.
But be that as it may, okay. And a crazy person entered the temple, he'd be arrested or killed. That's interesting.
Okay, so Harry H. is definitely a Christian. and by the way, Devin, I'm going to come right back to your question. I saw you posted a few times, and thank you for. I kept forgetting to remember it. So, but right now, Harry H says, first of all, JC said, we are all sons and daughters of the Most High God. Luke 18:18. Read the verse. First of all, that's not a verse. That's somebody's note. The verse, if you want to find a verse, a pasuk is going to be in the in the Hebrew Scriptures, not in the New Testament. So I think Harry H. may have missed the first half of the show where we talked about this in pretty good detail. So Harry H., go back and watch the entire show from the beginning. You're going to find out certain things that might give you a better grasp on what's going on and what you've been misled into seeing. Okay, so going back. Okay, Carmine, sit tight. Apparently 300 seconds.
By the way, Harry H. also says he does go to the Passover Seder.
That makes you a messianic.
I don't think they're going to kick him out. I don't think they're going to be obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they allow him,
First of all, if
they know he's a ger and not Jewish.
Actually, if the ger is one thing, but being a Christian is something else. And he said he's not Christian, but based on if you quote the New Testament to prove your points, then you're Christian. I'm sorry, you're a New Testament follower. I don't care what you disqualify yourself as. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Devin. Something probably more meaningful. Devin says, "Could Deuteronomy?" Rabbi, are you okay? We're like 20 minutes over. Are you good?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. Okay, so could Deuteronomy 28:64 be directly referring to Christianity as false? Gods of wood and stone seem a lot like statues and crosses. Yep.
64.
Yeah, so 2864. I'm going to put that on the screen now.
28.
Where's my mouse at? Oh, I got the wrong mouse. Hang on. 2864. I've already got it on the screen here. Okay, so and the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people from in one of the earth even to the other. And hold on a second. Sorry. So one of my computers has gone. I'm using a laptop with a very small screen. So, and there shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor your fathers have known, even wood and stone. That is so much reminds me of Christianity because
wait, but this is God talking to the Jews saying you're going to become Christians?
No. He was saying, could this be God already criticizing the idea of Christianity way back in Deuteronomy? Because
if the wood and stone and gods your fathers have not known is a reference to Christianity, but it says, there you shall serve them, those gods that you don't know with wood and stone, is implying that God is saying you're going to become Christian?
No. The whole point is it's actually posed as a question. So what does Deuteronomy 28:64 actually mean? What's the whole point of it? Just approach it from that way.
What happened with Solomon bringing paganism into the temple? Okay, what happened with future kings of Israel putting up idols? Okay, I think it has to do with that. I don't think it's necessarily about Christianity.
Okay, cool.
I mean, there are some Jews, in fact, we know this obviously, who abandoned God and abandoned their people and abandoned their religion by becoming Christians. Jews for Jesus, Messianic Christians, Messianic Jews, or whatever they're Hebrew Christians, whatever they're calling themselves this week.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I think that, look, Christians don't worship wood and stone. They worship a different kind of thing that was created. They don't worship the creator. They worship the created.
But I think,
like wood and stone in Jesus, because Jesus was created in the womb of Mary.
Right, but I think the point might be that everywhere you look, you see statues of Jesus in the church. You see statues of Jesus on a cross. You see the people wearing wooden crosses right. on their neck. The implement of the execution. Why would you wear if Elvis was shot with a gun? And you loved Elvis, why would you wear a gun around your neck to actually say that you're an Elvis fan? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So anyway, that's not the point. So I think the point was, how could it be just a it's kind of like Deuteronomy 13, right? That's to me that very clear rules out any possibility that Christianity could be right.
But that's an application to Christianity. Okay. It doesn't mean that paragraph was explicitly designed with Christianity in mind.
And I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying that application also would cover that. that would actually cover that whole ruling.
Directly referring to Christianity as false. Okay. Yes, I think it renders Christianity as false.
Maybe it's just I think y'all are saying the same thing, but you're just expressing it differently.
Well, I'm just being very careful about meaning because.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's why you're the rabbi. We're all learning here. So.
Okay, so.
Okay, so let's see.
God promised Israel they would never lack for a priest, a prophet sent by God to Israel in all generations. But the Jews have not received either in 2,000 years. Someone is a liar. Oh, really? It doesn't say that the priest or prophet will be known. It just says we won't lack for one. So somewhere in our generation, your generation, my children's generation, my grandchildren's generation, there will always be somebody who could serve as a priest or a prophet, as you worded. Okay? It doesn't mean they're going to actually be a prophet or priest. It means that they could be. Okay? And calling God a liar is really powerful. Okay? Even implying that God could be a liar when you say someone is a liar.
Right. Okay, so
it's a classic Christian melodrama.
So, guys, and I'm speaking to all my admins or moderators, whatever you call the one with the wrenches. So that would be you as well, Rabbi. Speaking to Andrea and speaking to my friend Larry and whoever else has that. For now, I'm going to put Carmine. I'm just going to remove altogether. And later on, we can come back if you want and look at the YouTube settings or remind me. And if I find now, a lot of people, granted, when I remove somebody from something, they'll come back and they'll open up a new YouTube account and come back and do the same thing. I know we have stalkers who do that, so and that's okay though. But at least now you see, Carmine, you really don't know anything about the Hebrew Scriptures. If you
God made Adam in God's image, so when God made Jesus, was God then an idolater? You're the one who believes Jesus was God, not us. You're the one who thinks God was an idolater by making Jesus into a human being. You're the one who says that that God became a human in Jesus, not us. You're the one creating the idolatry because you're worshiping someone that was created instead of worshiping the Creator who created him. And Christians will say, well, Jesus died and came back to life, which means he didn't really die he didn't really die, he just lost a weekend.
You know what? You're the first person who ever said that, and I swear that was the most important thing to me that really just drove that final nail in the coffin. Wait a minute,
Harry. Yes, I know. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Harry H says, Ger, convert. My father is Jewish, so if he converted, he's a Jew. If he's a Jew, of course he can have the Passover Seder.
Right. But Harry, unless you were under 12 years old when he converted, you're not Jewish. But your father might be. You have to be at a certain age when your parents convert to be considered Jewish, and you are not Jewish.
Well, no. He said he converted. He's a ger like
no.
A
he
convert.
said his father.
Only his father was Jewish, so his mother was not Jewish, so he had to convert.
Oh, so what? So Harry,
that's how I understand.
Okay, so Harry, if you're a convert, why are you quoting the New Testament? That means that you're a very dishonest Messianic Christian who snuck his way in. That pisses me off.
Otherwise, why would he quote from the Gospels?
That really pisses me off. I'm sorry, and that may offend some of you. I don't really care, dude. I hate liars, and you're a thief, man. Get the hell out of my channel. I'm sorry. That really irritates the hell out of me. Sorry, guys.
Why would he say he's a Jew?
I apologize, but that just hit a nerve. I'm blocking him from the channel.
If you quote the New Testament as if it has any authority, you're a Christian.
Man.
I wonder if they know about it. I wonder if they know this. I wonder if they know that they've got a Christian invading the synagogue who calls himself a Jew because his father is Jewish.
Look, or
because he converted under false pretenses.
I was raised in a very abusive home, but there's two traits that my stepdad taught me that still stand true. A thief and a liar. I can't stand either one. And that's exactly how I am today. Harry H., you are a liar. If you still quoting the New Testament as your proof text for things, you're not a Jew. I don't care who converted you. You're not Jewish. Don't come back to my channel. That really Okay, sorry about that, Rabbi. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
Hit a nerve.
Okay.
My bad. Yep, sorry. Working too much. Raymond, you're probably right. Love you, man. Okay,
I thought that
moving
there's
on.
something- I can't find it. I thought there was a quotation about God hating the liar.
Okay,
I guess not. Maybe not. I thought it was actually even in the New Testament. The Lord hates a liar, but I guess not. I can't find it.
No, I think that's a liar. Maybe so. Hang on a second. I'll see if I can do a quick search for you. Wait for a second. Wait, I'm going to find it. If it's there, I'll find it. Hang on.
No, I thought it said explicitly, the Lord hates a liar, but I can't find that quote.
Okay, so Ecclesiastes 20, a thief is better than a man. Go to Ecclesiastes 20:25 and see what's up. See what that says.
Wait a minute. Ecclesiastes what?
20:25.
There is no Ecclesiastes 20.
What? Oh, did I miss something? Oh, wait, let me go back. I scrolled too far. Hang on one second. Really? Oh my gosh. I don't know what this is. I don't even know what that is. Oh, you know what? Are you in the Hebrew Bible or what?
Well, no, I just did a general search because I thought it was actually in the New Testament.
It could
where
be.
It says the Lord hates a liar, but I can't find it.
A thief is better than man is a lie, but they both shall have destruction to heritage. That says this Ecclesiastes 20:25. It could be a verse off. But anyway, that's beside the point. So.
No. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar is Proverbs 19:22.
Okay. Huh.
I'm not sure what you're quoting.
I'm not sure. I just looked it up and I found the website, so I clicked on it. So. Okay. Well. Wow. Okay. So, you guys saw my dark side tonight. Sorry. At least it was over.
Mine too.
At least it was over a holy thing. That's all I got to say.
Actually, somebody even made a comment about it.
Oh no. Man. Sorry. You don't have to look it up.
Now, my point, though, the reason why I was going to say something about it is it shows you why I cannot be a debater. I can't debate these people. They just piss me off so much. Mm-hmm. And you cannot win a debate. Any debate is about the audience. It's not about having the better argument. It's not about being right. It's about winning over the audience. Okay?
Yeah,
validating their faith in you or validating the faith in the other person.
Yeah.
And I get mad and I get angry because of their stupidity and their foolishness, and I would not be a good debater.
Yeah. Well, and so someone asked earlier, actually two people asked earlier about...
Mr. Golem, feed the trolls. What was that thing at the very beginning about bopping the... No.
Bebop, the troll, whatever. Yeah, I think Andrea said something funny.
But I can't remember what it was now.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's
Very
gone
cool.
from the chat.
Right.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Well, that's okay. It's been a really, really awesome show. You know what? We're probably going to, maybe next week we'll just open up to, I'd like to have a leading question, though. It's better to start it's better to start this.
Whack-a-troll. Thank you,
Whack-a-troll,
Andrea.
thank you.
Whack-a-troll, whack-a-troll, whack-a-troll. Do whack-a-troll, whack-a-troll, whack-a-troll.
Right. So it's better to start each show with a leading question. So it's just better for titling and stuff so people can know what they're actually tuning into. So if you guys would either send Rabbi a message or send me a message on TanochTalkQuestions@gmail.com with the potential title for next week's show. We have one, TanochTalkQuestions@gmail.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so or in the chat we had a question that I mentioned earlier that we might be able to start with. That could be a possibility. So yeah. So we'll see you guys again. Rabbi, thank you again for your time. This has been a good show.
Always.
We are
love doing this with you.
Hour and a half. Yes, and next time hopefully it'll be here. So we'll see one of these days. Oh, so quick word. So not this week, but next week, Rabbi, we will not have a show. I'm going to be gone I'll be gone until Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. So I won't be back. So next week we'll have the morning shows on Sunday, and then we'll have all day Monday shows. But the following week, we won't have any shows at all. So
wait, so what date are you talking about?
Hold on, let me find my phone. I'll tell you real fast. If you need numbers, I'll give you numbers. So
I'm just trying to make sure I get it in my head.
Okay, the weekend of July 11th. So Sunday and Monday the 12th is when you would be on.
Yeah, the 13th. So we're not having.
Oh yeah,
it on
13th.
July
So
13th.
yeah, the 12th and 13th are going to be shut down completely. Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for all you viewers who are into the evening shows with Rabbi Skobac and Rabbi Moshe Shulman, next weekend they won't be on either because I have to work next Sunday night. So, but I'm actually in the studio Sunday morning though. So, just letting you know ahead of time. Okay. So, all right, Rabbi, thank you so much for your time too.
All right. So, are we on the 6th, but not the 13th?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Good.
Very good. Okay. Love you, Rabbi. Great job
I love
tonight.
you too.
Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the videos. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're not getting notifications on YouTube, check to make sure the notifications bell is turned on. If you do have that on, follow me on Facebook because Facebook I'm getting more into the habit of posting like a little bit before each show. It's kind of a new habit, but I'm getting to that point now where I'll start putting that up there. So if you guys aren't getting notified, find me on Facebook. That should be good to go. So peace out to you guys and Rabbi to you as well. And we will see you all on the other side. Shavua Tov. Take care, everybody.
חשוב